The Papal Conclave 21–24 April 1585 Papal Conclave convoked after the death of Gregory XIII, elected Cardinal Felice Peretti Montalto, who under the name of Sixtus V became the 227th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. Pope Gregory XIII died on 10 April 1585. Cardinal Felice Peretti Montalto, O.F.M.Conv, was elected his successor on 24 April 1585 and took the name Sixtus V. 42 of the 60 cardinals participated in the conclave. The absence of 30% of the cardinalate makes this conclave one of the most sparsely attended in the history of the modern Church. 14 of Gregory XIII's 30 cardinals failed to attend, a startlingly high number. Proceedings. The conclave began in the Vatican on 21 April, Easter Sunday. At the opening ceremonies, out of 60 living cardinals, 39 were in attendance. 3 more arrived later, in time to cast a vote. Andreas of Austria, Ludovico Madrazzo of Trent, and Guido Luca Ferrero of Vercelli. 2 factions quickly formed. The first was led by Cardinal Ferdinando de' Medici and the second by Luigi d'Este. They were willing to combine to make a pope, but it depended on whether they could agree on a common candidate. Early voting seemed to favor Cardinals Pier Donato Cesi and Guglielmo Spoleto, but by the next morning they had been abandoned. Wanting to avoid the potential influence of cardinals who had not yet arrived, Medici then proposed 2 names to d'Este, those of Cardinals Albani and Montalto, and invited him to choose. D'Este imposed conditions, however, and the projected deal, when news got out, caused much indignation. Through a series of misdirections and stratagems, Medici convinced the cardinals that Montalto was not his candidate. Ludovico Cardinal Madrazzo, who was the designated leader of the Spanish faction, then arrived in Rome and had conversations with the Spanish and imperial ambassadors before he entered conclave. Meeting immediately with d'Este, Madruccio learned of d'Este's dislike of his own favorite, Spoleto, considering that a completely pro-Spanish pope would be as unpalatable as a completely pro-French one. He therefore declared himself to d'Este to be against Cardinal Albani, and thus in favor of Montalto. Medici and Giraldo then put pressure on Madruccio as well, and he was won over. As leader of the Spanish interest, he brought his own influence to bear on Andrew of Austria, Colonna, Desert Gonzaga, Sfondrati and Spinola. With all of these adherents, Medici and d'Este still needed 4 votes. These could only be had in the group of Gregory XIII's cardinals organized by Alessandro Farnese, the dean of the College of Cardinals. During that night, Cardinal Ferrero arrived. On 24 April Medici explained to Montalto all that had been done, and advised him as to how affairs should be conducted. D'Este met with Farnese, who believed that Montalto had no voting strength, and managed to further misdirect him. During a meeting in the Pauline Chapel, d'Este recruited Guastaviani, the Cardinal Camilengard, Giambattista Castagna, the Cardinal of San Marcello, and Francesco Sforza. When the cardinals finally assembled in the Sistine Chapel, d'Este declared that it was not necessarily to proceed to a ballot, since it was obvious who the new pope was. Without opposition, the cardinals proceeded to do homage to Felice Cardinal Peretti, though, immediately afterwards, a vote was conducted by asking each cardinal to cast his vote aloud. The vote was unanimous. Cardinal Francois de Joyeuse arrived in Rome too late to participate in the conclave. The coronation of Sixtus V took place on May 1. As senior cardinal deacon, Cardinal de' Medici placed the tiara on his head. On May 5, he took possession of the Lateran composition of the conclave. Participants: Alessandro Farnese, Bishop of Ostia and Velletri, Dean of the Sacred College of Cardinals; Giacomo Savelli, Vicar of Rome, Bishop of Porto and Santa Rufina; Giovanni Antonio Serbelloni, Bishop of Frascati; Alfonso Giraldo, Bishop of Albano; Gianfrancesco Gambra, Bishop of Palestrina; Girolamo Simoncelli, Mark Sidage von Hohenzollern, Bishop of Constance; Luigi d'Este, Archbishop of Auch; Ludovico Madrazzo, Inico d'Avalos d'Aragona; Ferdinando de' Medici, Marco Antonio Colonna, Tolomeo Gallio, Prospero Santa Croce, Guido Luca Ferrero, Guglielmo Soletto, Gabriele Paliotti, Archbishop of Bologna; Michele Bonelli, Antonio Carafa, Giulio Antonio Santorio, Pier Donato Cesi, Charles d'Ancendarambuie, Bishop of Le Mans; Felice Peretti Montalto O.F.M. Girolamo Rusticucci, Nicholas de Pelleve, Archbishop of Sens; Gian Girolamo Albani, Filippo Boncompagni, Filippo Guastaviani, Camerlengo; Andrea d'Istria, Bishop of Brixen; Alessandro Riario, titular Patriarch of Alexandria; Pedro de Deza, Giovanni Vincenzo Gonzaga, Giovanni Antonio Facchinetti de Neus, Patriarch of Jerusalem; Giambattista Castagna, Papal Legate to Bologna; Alessandro Ottaviano de' Medici, Archbishop of Florence; Giulio Canani, Bishop of Adria; Nicolas Fondrati, Bishop of Cremona; Maria Salviati, Filippo Spandola, Bishop of Nola; Matthew Cointurel, Scipione Lancelotti, Francesco Sforzo. Absent cardinals. The following cardinals did not participate in the conclave: Niccolò Catani, Georges d'Armagnac, Archbishop of Toulouse, France; Charles II de Bourbon-Vendôme, Archbishop of Rouen, France; Antoine Perronneau de Granvelle, Archbishop of Besancon, France, and Bishop of Sabina; Albrecht von Austria, Louis II de Guise, Archbishop of Reims, France; Charles II de Lorraine de Vaudémont, Administrator of Toul and Verdun, France; Gaspar de Quiroga y Vela, Archbishop of Toledo, Spain; Rodrigo de Castro Osorio, Archbishop of Seville, Spain; François de Joyeuse, Archbishop of Narbonne, France; Michel de la Tour, Bishop of Ceneda; Agostino Vaglia, Bishop of Verona; Vincenzo Loro, Bishop of Mondovi; Alberto Bolognetti, Bishop of Massa Marittima; Jerzy Radziwiłł, Bishop of Wilno, Lithuania; Simon Tagliavia d'Aragonia; Charles III de Bourbon de Vendôme, Coadjutor Archbishop of Rouen, France; Andrew Bathory, Bishop of Ermland, Prussia.